Ayo, Podman here. Hi. So, I'm trying to mess with a gimbal to try and get these shots better because I know I'm trying to like gently and slowly increase my skill and the quality of the videos. And it's a numerous tier issue. One thing I realize is, hey, you're getting unscripted stuff. I just kind of say what's coming to mind. Sometimes it's just before the video. Sometimes it's thought out before. And none of it's like scripted. None of it is written down. So I'm working on that. But I'm also working on like having a thing that's like super smooth that I move around. This is just my arm. This is my arm holding this up right now. Yeah, I'm so amazing. I'm just my arm holding it. No, it's not that. I just want to get the right thing, and I'm dealing with something that's like 3 years old, and there's calibration issues, and I'm trying to figure it out, yada, yada, yada. None of that really matters. So everyone is talking about, myself included, not everyone. Gosh, not everyone. I hate that when people are just like, everybody is talking about this thing, and oh my God. And it's like, no, not everyone is talking about this. Apparently one of the biggest thing that happened at the Oscars last night, which I'm ashamed to say I didn't watch. Shouldn't be ashamed, I guess. I'm just like, I didn't care, if that makes sense. In times gone by, I would make an effort to watch like all the best picture, all of the movies with, if there was a movie where there was a actor or actress that was nominated that wasn't a best picture, I would go and watch that. So, but this time around, I didn't. This time around, there was 10 movies, so for starters, that's a lot. And then I saw on the Best Picture list, and I saw like 4 of them, maybe 5. And there was a bunch I didn't see, and that just is what it is. Whatever. But apparently the big thing to talk about now is Will Smith slapped Chris Rock. So I'll just talk about that briefly, because it's a thing that's happened. What Will Smith did is unacceptable. And anybody who says, oh, but... they're wrong. Sorry. What he did is unacceptable. What Chris Rock said was a joke and was about Will Smith's wife. Okay, she's losing her hair. Fine. Whatever. I didn't even know she was losing her hair. Maybe Chris Rock knew. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. And even still, even if he knew, it's still a joke. It's a joke. Because she's got a buzz cut haircut and he's referencing, whatever. So it's just a joke. And if Will Smith can't take a joke, that's on him. And having it be like, oh, but he attacked his wife. It's like, that's not an attack. Like, let's be adults. Come on, this is childish. So that's my 2 cents on that. So whatever. I'm really upset with Will. Upset's not the right word. I don't know if I'm going to boycott anything he makes. I literally just saw King Richard the other day. Obviously before this incident. Fun movie, good movie, whatever. But I'm very disappointed with him. I was disappointed before because of the whole drama where him and his wife have had an open relationship and yada. Not that they have an open relationship. I don't really care about that. But it's kind of become this like weird thing where it's like, is he saying they have an open relationship to justify him being okay with his wife sleeping with other guys? Yada, yada. It's just like, oh my God. Because you watch the interview of him talking about it and you're just like, dude, you don't seem to be cool with being in an open relationship. And frankly, if you're in an open relationship, knock yourself out. I personally will say that I've yet to meet a sane individual who is like A-okay with open relationships. And I'm not trying to be rude to people who are like, no, it's the best way to go. You live you, man. That's fine. I don't really care. I just feel like if you're being honest with yourself and you really think it through, it's like, are you down to have somebody else see your significant other and do things to your significant other that should just be reserved for you? And if you are, more power to you. Like, actually, no. But, like, you do you. But, like, I think 99% of people don't really want that. Okay, enough of that. I actually wanted to talk about something kind of serious today, which I'm realizing today's the wrong day to do it. So I might have to make 2 videos. I don't want to do this. Okay, we're just going to do it. I'll just have to do a movie video on Tuesday. We'll just call it Tuesday Movie Tuesday. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so what I want to talk about is this very interesting concept where it's like, oh, hey, ghosts, right? And it's very interesting. I was talking to my lady about how in society it is accepted to be like, oh, ghosts exist, right? Ghosts exist. That's a given, right? People understand ghosts exist. I would argue that it's so much in the cultural zeitgeist that if you ask 10 people, they'll be like, oh yeah, totally ghosts. And they won't be referring to like angels or demons. They'll just be talking about ghosts. So if that's the case, then I find it very fascinating that science doesn't really acknowledge ghosts. They don't. Hi, Perrines. It's raining outside and Perrin is hanging out with me. Science doesn't really acknowledge ghosts, which is very fascinating. So let me understand this correctly. Most people accept that ghosts probably exist, right? Ghosts being someone you know or whatever, it doesn't matter. Somebody was in a body and then they died, and then a representation of them, the thing, an entity leaves that body and is basically that entity, that person. But they're not in a physical corporeal body. Well, okay, that's weird. There's other words for it called spirits. But it's very odd because if you get into the science world, they like to exclude spirits and spirituality from the conversation. You know who also likes to do it is like pretty much every religion ever, every major religion, Catholics and Christians, to my understanding, they like to be like, oh, well, no, you know, when you die, you go to heaven or hell. Okay, so what happens to people who don't? Like, what happens to people who don't go to heaven and hell? And frankly, what goes to heaven and hell? That's really the question. So if you're in this body right now, right? If you die, what goes to heaven and hell? Because when you're dead, the body's there. And it gets buried, which I think is silly, but whatever. So if your body doesn't go to heaven and hell, then what goes to heaven and hell? Oh, well, you do. Okay, so if you go to heaven and hell, then you are not a body, right? Oh, well, but no, I mean, you go. As what? Like a spirit? Okay, so let's just assume spirits exist then, right? Yeah, okay, cool. So why do you think that if spirits exist, they go to heaven or hell? Oh, well, because it's dictated. And I'm like, it's a bit of a circular argument. And it's actually kind of frustrating. And what's fascinating to me is that it just occurred to me, something I've spent most of my life with an understanding or a belief, I'll say it's a belief, that you as an individual, you are not a body, okay? I, David Plaidman, I'm not this body. I'm not the clothes, I'm not this skin, I'm not this hair, I'm not any of those things. I'm not these eyes. I am not a body. I am occupying this body in this time, right? Afterwards, I don't really know what happens, but I can just say that I am not the body. If that's the case, then that opens up Pandora's box of possibilities. This is how you get people who push their mind and they push themselves to do things to their body that might not otherwise have been able, science did not prove. Like, there are lots and lots of instances of people who accomplish feats that were never before conceivably possible and have yet to be replicated since. People who had serious issues with their legs or their arms or their neck, their lower back, so they're not able to move or do things. And they went from that to then, for instance, one guy, he went and performed an Olympic level at doing gymnastics. And you're like, what? How? Like, no way. He shouldn't have even been able to walk because of his motorcycle accident. And it's like, yeah, but no, he figured it out. And in an odd way, Doctor Strange, the Marvel movie, kind of taps into this. And it's very interesting because they tap into it like little Larry Fairy. But really what they're talking about is, hey, your body is occupied, is being controlled by a spirit. You are not your body. So you can manipulate your body to be able to do more things than what you might think you might be able to do. Now, I've been raised with this general concept, and a lot of people haven't, but if nothing else, I'm going to leave you with this because I don't want this video to be too long. What I want to illustrate is, if you think you are just a body, fine. But look at the data in the sense of, hey, so what happens if you die? We don't know. All right. Why are ghosts a thing? Why have they existed? Why do we keep talking about them? Right? Look at that. And then realize that perhaps maybe this concept of you are just a body, maybe there's a bunch of flaws in that. And similarly, I imagine these same people would be like, oh, anti-conspiracy theorists or whatever. Well, it's like, well, then apply that same level of diligence to, oh, it's a conspiracy theory, to what if it was flipped and like the conspiracy theory is you're just a body. Poke holes in it now. Because frankly, even though science doesn't want to touch it, the fact that science doesn't touch it illustrates to me that they don't actually have any proof that you are a body. If you have proof that you're a body, please comment, because I would love to see it. But I think that there is enough evidence to illustrate that not only you, but lots of things in our universe, from plants, animals, and otherwise, are more than just, oh, I need to eat and F, and I need to do this and do that, and I'm driven all by body stuff. Like, there's a lot of evidence to illustrate that there's more to entities in life than that. I challenge you to look at it. That's it for today. This is a Monday thing. I might post it on Tuesday, so I might make a separate video about movies for today. We'll see. All right. I love you all. Take care. Bye.